What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the videos. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscribers. So please be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. If you want up to 12 free stocks, Webull is going to give you up to 12 free stocks. When you open a new Webull brokerage account, put at least 1 penny in that account. They're going to give you up to 12 free stocks. So if you're interested in that offer, there's a link down in the description box of the video. Click on that Webull link, open up your new account today, go get that free stock, go get that free money. The Federal Reserve, the central bank of the United States, has set a new record. 375 basis points rate hikes in 1 year. A total of 5 rate hikes in the first 9 months of this year, and could be as high as 9 rate hikes for the entire 2022 year. What does that really mean though? Rate hikes. How does that affect us everyday folk? Well, let me walk you through how it affects us. First, when you hear people talk about short-term interest rates, they're really talking about what they call the Fed funds rate, which is the rate that banks borrow and lend money to each other. It also contributes to the rate that the bank or a lender will charge you as a consumer coming to borrow money from them. Typically, when banks lend money to consumers, it's called the prime rate. So what is the prime rate made up of? You take the Fed funds rate plus 300 basis points, and that's typically the prime rate. Now, what banks will do though, they'll take that prime rate and they'll even add more points to that prime rate. And that's really called a variable rate loan. When you have the prime rate plus a percentage. For instance, if you go and get an equity credit line on your home, typically lenders use the prime rate plus in order to define what your interest rate is. Again, that's a variable rate loan though. So it could be prime plus 1, prime plus 2, prime plus 10. It's whatever the prevailing rate is that that particular lender wants to charge you. So credit cards is another big type of loan that is tied to variable rate lending. It's tied to the prime rate. So when you look at your credit card statement and it says what your interest rate is, that interest rate is variable. All that means is that that interest rate can change from day to day. It can change from month to month. It just depends on whatever the terms and the conditions are from that particular credit card company. But it's not a fixed rate loan. A fixed rate loan is typically a loan that has a fixed interest rate for a period of time. For instance, a car loan. You may have a 6-year car loan, but that car loan rate is fixed for the entire 6 years. It's not going to change from month to month or from day to day like a credit card loan would, right? So that's the difference really between your variable rate and your fixed rate loan. Variable rate, it can change. Interest rate can change at any time. Fixed rate, interest rate never changes, right? For the term of the loan. As interest rates go up, these short-term interest rates, as the Fed comes in and continues to increase short-term interest rates in order to force inflation down, if you're borrowing money on a variable rate loan, your rate is going to continue to go up. Like I said, the two really that come to mind is going to be your home equity lines of credit, or it could be an unsecured line of credit. And then it is your credit cards, because really the credit card is sort of like a line of credit as well, right? It's an unsecured line of credit, right? But they send you a bill every 30 days to tell you what that balance is, and you have the option to pay it off in full or pay the minimum payment. That's typically how variable rate loans work. On the other hand, when you're looking at a fixed rate loan, you don't get to choose what you pay on your car loan. It's already predetermined. When you sign that car loan agreement, they're going to tell you, you got 6 years, 5% interest rate, your payment is XYZ, and that's what you got to pay every single month. The Federal Reserve has already said they're going to be hawkish on inflation. They're going to be hawkish on making sure they get inflation down. So that means they're going to continue raising these interest rates. Right now already, and September of 2022, they've already raised the short-term interest rate by a full 3%. See, at the beginning of the year, the Fed funds rate was 0.25%. Now it's 3.25%. So they've already raised short-term interest rates by 3%. So if you got a credit card tied to the prime rate, you're already up by 3% probably on your credit card, because it's a variable rate line of credit, right? So be careful with that. You as these rates go up, your interest is going to go up. Now, for you folks out there that are looking to buy a house, or perhaps get a new car and take a loan out to buy that car, hey, it's going to affect fixed rate loans as well. Why? Because again, these interest rates affect all types of loans. It affects all interest rates, whether it be interest rates for debt or interest rates where the bank is paying you interest on your money you keep in the bank. See, typically when interest rates go up, the interest that banks pay you on the money that you keep at the bank goes up as well. But you got to shop around for that, because a lot of these banks are slick. See, they already got excess deposits on hand. So they don't necessarily have to increase their interest rates because they have excess deposits. Really, when you see banks increase their interest rates on savings accounts, money markets, CDs, is when they're short on deposits, right? When they're trying to increase their deposit base, then they will throw that carrot out there. Hey, Mr. Depositor, Mrs. Depositor, hey, if you bring your money over here, we're going to give you this introductory interest rate. They don't really have to do that right now because they have excess deposits, because people are taking their money out of the stock market. People are selling real estate and they're putting it in the bank for safety until they can figure out what's going on in the economy. So it's going to be unlikely that your normal brick and mortar Main Street bank is going to give you a high interest rate on your money you keep there. Now, you can go online and find some of these virtual banks who are trying to attract deposits. They will pay you a little bit higher. But the disadvantage is there's no brick and mortar location you can go in when you need help. And a lot of times their customer service is not as good, or their online banking services is not as good as some of your nationally known brick and mortar banks, right? So that's what you give up, but you can potentially get a higher interest rate on your deposits. So yeah, these interest rates that are being increased by the Federal Reserve right now, the Fed funds rate, AKA short-term interest rates, will affect all interest rates. It's also affecting mortgage rates, right? So someone last year, even last year, let's just say the beginning of 2022, let's just say in January of 2022, let's take a $300,000 mortgage. Someone went in to apply for a $300,000 mortgage, they would be locked in around 3%, fixed for 30 years. Now that same $300,000 mortgage, fast forward to today, they would be locking in over 6%. And some of you might say, well, what's the difference in 3% or 6%? It can't be that much. Well, it's significant, guys. If you had a $300,000 mortgage at 3%, and it's fixed rate for 30 years, your payment is around $1,300 a month. You take that same $300,000 mortgage for 30 years and you lock it in at 6%, that payment shoots up to $1,800 a month. So that's a $500 a month difference, not even a year ago, right? 9 months ago. That's a big difference in payment. That's why a lot of people can't buy homes right now. That's why you see home sales coming down, right? Home sales are coming down because of interest rates. So these short-term interest rates not only affect variable rate short-term loans like credit cards and lines of credit and unsecured lines of credit, but it also affects, student loans, car loans, and home loans, which are typically fixed rate loans, right? So it's affecting everything, man. The real story here is if you got variable rate debt out there, listen, man, take that debt seriously. Start paying it off. If you got savings or reserves, not your emergency fund though, but excess over your emergency fund, I would be taking that money out of savings and paying down credit card debt, paying down my line of credit on my home, paying down any unsecured line of credit. Now, don't touch your emergency fund. Never touch that, right? Because you need that. I can always come back from a charge off on a credit card. I can come back from that, right? We got a forgiving country when it comes to, people charging debt off. We can come back from that. But it's going to be harder for me to come back if I lose my job and I got no savings, right? It's going to be tough to come back from that. So never take your emergency fund to pay off debt. But if you got excess, take that excess and go pay off that variable rate debt, credit cards, unsecured lines of credit, and home equity lines. So, and then be careful with taking on any new debt, even if it's fixed rate debt, because it's going to be higher, right? It's going to be higher. So that's all I wanted to talk about really today, guys, was just to give you guys a quick nutshell. What's the difference between, variable rate debt, fixed rate debt, how it's affecting you when the Fed raises short-term interest rates aggressively like they're doing now, and what I think you should be doing with excess cash. I think you should be paying off debt, right? Especially variable rate debt. If you already got fixed rate debt under 5% and it's manageable, I probably wouldn't pay that off. I'd probably just continue dollar cost averaging into the stock market, building wealth through buying assets. But if you got fixed rate debt higher than 5%, or if you got variable rate debt over here, take that excess cash, man, and pay it off. Drop me some comments and let me know what you guys think about that. And if you want those 12 free stocks from Webull, click on that link down in the description box. Open up that new Webull account today, guys. They're going to give you up to 12 free stocks for trying the brokerage app out. Go get that free stock, man. Go get that free money. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash the like button. Thoughts become things. You can see it in your mind. You can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. And I'm going to catch you on the next video. Peace. Today's video is sponsored by my company, RF Financial Consulting. And in my company, I work with individuals just like you through financial mentoring and coaching sessions. And in those 1-hour sessions, we talk about strategies to help you get to your financial freedom, whether it be through real estate investing, stock market investing, creating additional streams of income, credit card arbitrage, or starting and growing a business. If that's something that you might be interested in, there's an email address in the description box of the video. Send me an email and let's discuss if I'm the right fit for you.